888-350-350.
AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back, Chicago. You're listening to the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And I'm thrilled to be joined by Bill Hirsch, who has practiced architecture for over 40 years. During that time, he's designed hundreds of custom homes in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, Hawaii, all places that I would probably rather be right now. But I'm thrilled to have Bill on the line with us now to talk about both his experience as well as his book. Bill, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me on.
It's great to have you. So we love to get to know the folks behind the business journey. Bill, I know I just mentioned you've been in architecture for over 40 years. Can you tell us what originally brought you into that architectural world?
Well, there wasn't an aha moment for me. It seems I always wanted to be an architect from as far back as I can remember, and to that path.
You took that path and you went to school. Can you tell us a little bit about your education and the early days of your career?
Sure. I have an undergraduate degree in psychology, and then I went to the University of Virginia in a master's program in architecture. And following that, moved to Delaware, lived there, practiced architecture for about 20 years, and then moved to North Carolina. And I started to specialize in residential architecture. Prior to that, I had done all sorts of buildings, all building types, but I became a residential specialist at that point. And then as the years went by, I found myself telling the same things at the outset. And I decided it would be a good idea to write down a little handout for them at the beginning of each project, background information, what to expect, how to get their thoughts together. And that turned into my first book. I had a little more to say than I realized once I started writing it.
Indeed. And I am fascinated by your book, The Well-Centered Home. Home is a term that we use often for our houses and the various buildings that you have been involved in helping so many people put up. But I'm going to quote a line over here. Your home has the power to channel or repel the energy that nourishes you. It can energize and recharge you. It can increase your mindfulness and help you feel at peace. So, Bill, you certainly have spent a lot of time really diving into what makes a house a home. And you talk a lot about the various home body types. Let's get into the book. It's called The Well-Centered Home. What inspired you to really get deeper into the psyche of how people are at ease in their own home environment?
Well, this has been a thread through all of my design work. And just recently, I thought I can present these same concepts in ways that are easy to understand and apply to everybody's home, regardless of the size of the home. You don't have to be building a new house. You can take your existing home, maybe it's an apartment, maybe it's a large fancy house, and make adjustments to fine-tune it to you. And it can become that sort of recharging station for the soul, if you will, where it helps de-stress you and puts you back in a better centered place simply by being there.
Interesting. So again, the book, The Well-Centered Home, Simple Steps to Increase Mindfulness, Self-Awareness, and Happiness Where You Live. Bill, I don't want to give away all of the secret sauce in the book because obviously we want to make sure folks get on Amazon, order the book. We'll share all that information in a couple of minutes. But what are some of the fundamental takeaways that you would want our listeners, as they go into a new week, to think about how they can increase their mindfulness, self-awareness, and happiness where they live?
Well, I talk about pebbles and pearls. And pebbles are the things that are irritants and they disrupt the energy in your home. And just like a pebble in your shoe would do. And pearls would be additive things. They would be little special items that enhance the energy. So the first thing you want to do is remove those pebbles. They might be little annoyances you've lived with and gotten used to, But now you need to heighten your awareness of these and go through and reassess your home and smooth out these rough spots, like a door that sticks all the time, or an unfortunate view of into the bathroom from the living room that you need to do something about because they're breaking up the positive energy in your home.
Very, very interesting. And in the book, you talk about 4 different home body types, and folks can actually go on your website, wellcenteredhome.com, to actually see a little bit about how you can discover your home body type. But I'm chatting with William Hirsch, Bill Hirsch, the author of the best-selling book, The Well-Centered Home. Tell us about those home body types and how they're unique and how people can discover who they are and maybe learn from that experience.
Right. Well, that's the key thing is the home body test is to help you understand yourself, your preferences, and your inclinations. It's not meant to categorize you, but it gives you good guidance about which are the most effective things that you could do to your home in order to customize it for you. We're not all the same, and some standard method of organizing and arranging your home shouldn't really apply to everybody. So the home body quiz heightens your awareness of where your preferences go. It gives you a lot of reassurance about the things you might be doing to help your home become better centered.
Bill, can I ask what's your home body type?
Well, it turned out I was a Plato, which is the more contemplative type. And I had to put the quiz away for a number of months in order to get an objective view of it, since I created the quiz. But I have a little inclination towards an austere at the same time, which is a little more outgoing person.
And often when people think about a home, it's all very exciting when you first move into a house, especially. I know you've worked on designing as an architect. You've helped people build their dream home. I guess my question to you, Bill, is for this process, for this concept, for this movement that you've created of the well-centered home, is a new home a requirement?
No, absolutely not. It's probably more geared towards existing homes, and smaller homes are actually easier to do the process with because you have fewer things to impact. So it could be, they're very simple, straightforward things you can do that improve this. I talk about earth grounding, for instance, which is a concept that connects you with nature. And this improves your emotional health and your physical health. There are proven studies of this. So earth grounding is a way to let you appreciate where your home is in nature and connects you to nature better than your home may already do at the present time.
Very interesting. And I know you talk about turning a home into a recharging station, which I love that concept. And that's so important. So certainly that's a key takeaway that folks can learn even from our brief conversation over here. So Bill, what are you hearing from the readers of the book and all the followers that are learning about the concept? Have you heard any interesting stories or feedback?
Not so many stories yet. The book's just been out for a short time, but I do get comments that I really appreciate where people say, I've always felt these things, but I couldn't put it into words. And so in my book, that's what I've tried to do, is to explain why we feel certain things about our home, even if it's on a very subliminal level. And once you become more aware of this, you're better able to improve those very same feelings.
Sure. And we all use those words, home, sweet home. And I know that once you read the book, Well-Centered Home, you will say it and you will mean it. So Bill, we are running out of time. And I want to make sure our listeners know where they can purchase a copy of the book and learn more about you. Bill, can you share your contact information?
Sure. The website is wellcenteredhome.com. And the books are available on Amazon in both an ebook format and a paperback format. And the audio version should be available within a few days.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, again, new book, Well-Centered Home, receiving some great reviews. And we all know home is where we have been spending a lot of time lately, and probably quite a bit more over the coming weeks and months. So you will want to get a copy of The Well-Centered Home by the fantastic author, William Hirsch. Bill, thanks so much for joining us on the air.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Check out the website, wellcenteredhome.com. We're going to squeeze in a quick break with some headlines. And following that break, we'll be joined by Brian Winthal, who is joining us in just a few minutes. You are listening to the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. We'll be right back and get down to business when you return.
It finally feels like